Have you ever wondered where bats came from? Well, today we're going to talk about it. We're going to go all the way back to their creation, their evolution, and how they've been viewed throughout history. Let's get started. Bats are mammals that can fly. There are over 1,400 species of bat living across the world today. They make up 20% of all mammal species. But did you know that, until recently, scientists weren't even sure where they came from? See, bats have unique features that don't exactly line up with any other group of animals. For example, they have fur like mammals, but also wings like birds or insects. And then there's the way that they use echolocation to navigate in the dark, emitting sounds and then listening for what bounces back off of objects. But this ability is something that scientists haven't been able to observe in any other animal. So it was hard to know if bats were more closely related to other mammals, birds, or insects. Well, in 2009, scientists used a technique called molecular dating to study the DNA of different bat species. What they found was that bats are indeed mammals, more closely related to primates, horses and whales than to any other kind of animal. But while they are mammals, they're also totally unique. Their closest relative is a group of land-dwelling mammals in Southeast Asia called colugos, or flying lemurs. These animals can glide through the air by spreading out a membrane that stretches from their body to their limbs, kind of like a big parachute. But they can't actually fly, just glide. Scientists think that over millions of years, a group of colugos' ancestors evolved the ability to change the shape of their limbs and fingers so that the skin membrane stretched between them would act more like wings. Over time, these animals became better and better at flying, and eventually took to the skies around the world. But when exactly did this happen? Well, according to the fossil record, bats first flew into the skies during the Cretaceous period, which lasted from about 145 to 66 million years ago. That's pretty recent in terms of evolution. Scientists believe that early bats may have actually evolved after the dinosaurs had already gone extinct. Throughout history, people have had a lot of different ideas about where bats came from. In ancient Greece, people believed that bats were created by the goddess Athena out of mud. And in many Native American cultures, bats were thought to be the first humans and the bringers of civilization. In medieval Europe, people believed that bats were demons or vampires that lived in the bodies of cats or other animals. Because of this belief, people would sometimes kill bats in order to prevent them from turning someone into a vampire. In more recent years, scientists began to understand that bats are actually mammals that evolved over millions of years. But despite all of our scientific knowledge, there are still some things that we don't understand about bats. For example, we still don't know exactly how echolocation works. We know that bats emit sounds and then listen for what bounces back, but we don't know how they process the information. We also know that bats can emit a wide range of different sounds, but we don't know what all of those sounds mean or how they're used. Finally, we know that bats are able to navigate in three-dimensional space using echolocation, but we don't know exactly how they do it. So while we may have finally figured out where bats came from, there's still a lot that we don't understand about these amazing animals. What do you find most fascinating about bats? Let me know in the comments below.